and don't be worried about something that hasn't happened yet.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's so important, you know, and it does take effort. You do have to get off.
Yeah.
You have to move. If you stay still, you're What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Warriors Mindset Podcast, where the sayings, riddles, and many blunders of the wise are brought to you. I'm sitting here with Mr. Muscle Mitch.
How's it
there
going
he goes.
Everybody, what's going on?
We were just talking whether our nipples were showing, and we all agreed that our Mitch's nipples always show.
Always.
I told him one day, I just want to get my boobs to not point down. He's like, I want my boobs to point down. What's that mean anyway?
It means my pecs are so big that my nipples are pointing down.
You got goat nipples, buddy.
I think I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start calling you Pecs.
Pecs?
Pecs. What up, Pecs? And we got Big Daddy Patty Patrick Pav sitting here with us. What's up, man?
Yellow. Hello.
How's your week been?
Oh, pretty great.
I asked you that on the episode we just filmed. Too,
It's still true now.
It's true?
Yeah.
You're looking good. You got the Chelsea catering going on?
That's right. We're repping the different companies week by week now.
Yeah.
Looks like.
So, yeah, we are. I love it. I got the Grateful Crow going. Mitch has someone that's not paying us to advertise for them.
One of our favorite companies that is not ours.
No, I mean, I would donate to them guys, but I do buy energy drinks through you guys.
Mm-hmm. I spend a lot of money on their supplements, so I think I'm doing my part, you know.
Yeah, it's so good. So you got a catering gig for Chelsea Catering, one of our many companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are you serving today?
We're serving sushi and fruit and caprese and cookies. Caprese.
What the hell's caprese?
Mozzarella and tomato on a
That's
stick.
Good.
Lots of mozzarella, tomato, and basil, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
But yeah, we do all kinds of different foods, so it depends on what people want.
I love it. Well, this is the Warriors Mindset, and we are Warriors Management. We own and operate a bunch of companies, and the three of us do it together with many other great people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's exciting is that I believe that our company made it to the next level, like Super Mario Brothers, dude.
It's always a good sound.
It is. It's crazy because I believe, according to launching a leadership revolution, that we made it to the 5th level of influence.
And what's that?
And what is that? That is where we have leaders that are leaders that create other leaders.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So you have your leader, and then that leader coaches and mentors someone else that, wants to be a leader, because you can't just become one. You have to have a desire to do it, right?
Yeah.
And where they coach and they work together, and then you develop another leader. And then there's another layer being developed.
Well,
so we're about to be 3 layers in.
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
It's crazy.
Well, and that's the best leader to be. If you can develop other leaders and essentially copy and paste yourself, then you are invaluable, right?
You're invaluable. And here's the thing. Years ago, I heard it wasn't the product that you sold, and it wasn't even the advertising that you used to sell the product. It was all about the people. Focus on the people, and your organization will thrive.
Yeah, Sam Walton talked about that a lot too.
Did you read that book already?
I'm like 70% of the way through.
So I read that book. You were probably 5 years old.
We need to add it to our book club. I think it has a lot of benefits to us.
Yeah. The thing I liked about that book that I want to start implementing is they met every Saturday morning.
Yep.
What, like 7 a.m. or something?
Yeah, and he got there at like 2 a.m. to review the numbers beforehand.
Yep. So they would, for the week, right?
Yep.
And so I think I'm going to start having a standing meeting with our leaders on Mondays.
Yeah.
And we've kind of been doing that.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm super excited about, guys, what goes along with that, as we are layering and growing the next level, so we can get to the next level after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the next level after that is like wildly profitable.
Yeah,
I
we like that.
That's the goal.
And that's what we're going to focus on, and that's what these leaders that we have, our leaders and the up and coming leaders, want to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
But here in my hand, my notebook, I have our 2025 Warriors Management Corporate Structure that I drew out last night as I was studying. I was reading the Bible too last night, getting ready for Shine Light. Hey, we have other podcasts. This is our Realistic Leadership podcast. We have a spiritual podcast, Faith-based, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Protestant Aquarius. And then we have another episode that we do, and it's called What the Fuck is Going On? And it has a lot to do with government, worldly stuff, etc.
Yep.
So, anyway, I can't show you yet. The unveiling will be soon. Why? Because there's some people I got to talk to. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's ready for review soon. And I just have to add the other layers. What is the chain of command and responsibilities for Warriors Management?
Mm-hmm.
You, VP. You, COO. Me. And then what is the responsibilities for those partners in each store with their team? And then getting their team involved in the responsibilities, which is great food, great service, sell a lot of pizza, sell a lot of sushi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, dude, I'm fired up. I don't think I've ever felt like this going into a year before.
Well, yeah, and like this past year, we talked a lot about how it was going to be a real hard year for various reasons, and I think it actually better than I thought it may go, but now the outlook is very bright.
Yeah, what I would say is that operationally and personnel-wise, it went better than we thought.
Yeah.
I think profit-wise, it went almost exactly how we thought.
About how we thought, yeah.
Almost. And that was difficult to do with dealing with inflation.
Oh, yeah.
Like we opened the Grateful Crow 2020, right?
Yep.
And then
what a time to open.
October 2020, bro.
Man, why did we do that?
You guys are nuts. I didn't know that's when you opened.
Listen, motherfuckers.
You didn't know you're nuts?
I get asked
Elijah?
that question all the time.
That's why I asked
Do you
it.
think I actually started planning a business in January of 2020 and then was going to open it in March? No, 2017 we started. 2015, I'd say we started the vision when we knew the bad business that was in the building we're currently in was going out. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
Bad food, bad service equals shutter. Anyway,
Can I ask off the record what that business? What it was?
Chelsea Ale House, and then they moved and they failed again because you know you go. I don't know if this will make the podcast.
Yeah, don't go too
No,
far
it
into
won't.
this.
I'm
go
gonna
woke,
I'm gonna
go
cut it.
broke, motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened. Those motherfuckers called on us
Oh, I
because we
remember.
weren't wearing masks. Because we didn't start wearing masks until the health department came to me with a piece of paper and said, "I'll shut you down if you guys aren't wearing masks."
They called on you because they were scared of you as competition.
Oh, fucking A, right.
For
Because
sure.
we were hammering it. We were like, I started making commercials selling beer to go. Like I was doing it. But 2020, we opened the Grateful Crow, right? October. You know, we were supposed to open in March, but then it was October. And then we just busted ass. And Mitch was there during this time, Pat. And I would say this last year, I think was our most successful year, not at the bottom line, but I'm talking about in what we know.
Yeah.
I think that we have a team of people
Definitely.
that look at our meeting yesterday. We voted on something. Remember? That was awesome. Was that cool?
Yeah, that was
Was that
awesome.
like, that was kind of symbolic, wasn't it?
For sure.
You know, we got how many people are in there? Nine yays and 0 nays.
I mean, you kind of set that up, a couple, like last month, basically, for the, just before that Halloween party circus thing on how we're going to vote on anything big moving forward.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was the first big thing to vote on, right?
Yeah, it was a huge thing to vote on, and we'll tell you about that later. But I think what was most, I mean, the vote was like, all right, problem solved, or, idea sealed, and we're moving forward. But what was cool about it was how we integrated our ideas over a couple weeks to actually put that vote on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like your concerns, other people's concerns. And it was like I was a government whip.
Government, yeah.
I literally and I had some pushback and, but I think at the end of the day, with all the questions and all the conversations, we ended
Absolutely.
Awesome. And I'm looking forward to revealing our corporate structure. You guys won't be surprised, but.
Well, and I guess just to hit on that a little more, I think you mentioned where we were picking up on things over the course of a couple weeks that all led into that meeting yesterday and that vote. And I think it's important to say that when you are a leader in an organization and you go to work in the systems, you should go in with that 10,000 foot view. That way you are able to, I guess, tear apart the system and see what's working and what's not. That way, when you do go into those meetings, you're able to, voice your opinions and try to, work through those problems within the meetings. That way we can all come together and solve them, right?
Yeah. You can't be narrow-minded. You have to look at things in a big picture. And I think you guys are really learning that. As you're approaching your 30th year,
mm-hmm.
I know I tease you guys. You guys got a few years left.
I'm pretty close. 27. I have 3 years.
You're both 27. I know.
I'm way closer to 28.
You're both 97s,
yeah.
Right? You're both born in 97?
Yeah, but on the opposite ends of the year.
Yeah, you're the end of the year. He's the beginning. So, as you guys are well, shit, look at the vice president is 39 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 10 years or so for you.
Yep.
Where was he at 27 than what he had to achieve? I think that you guys over the last year, your eyes were open to a lot.
Absolutely. And, you mentioned, the 20s. You kind of grouped the 20s together. And I think for me, at least, 20 to 24 was it was kind of hazy for me.
Yeah.
And I was still felt like a yearling.
Like a teenager?
In the adult world, like a yearling,
Yeah.
And once 5 hit, my priorities shifted, and which then shifted my focus. And, I guess my focus in my early 20s was more or less on building myself in my base.
Yeah.
So I was more selfish, where now my priorities are outside of myself, and my focus is shifted to my wife, my family, and business, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like your business empowers the other things. It's fuel.
Yes,
money.
Absolutely.
Money and purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right? Money and purpose. Yeah, I'm excited watching you young people, I would call, because I'm 48. I say it. I'm almost half a century. And I think one reason it keeps me young is because I get to be with such young, vibrant, ambitious, learning young men and women.
Constantly seeking wisdom.
Listen, you've been with us back with us 3-4 years almost.
Yeah, almost 4.
Almost 4. When you first started hanging out with me, who were you hanging out with?
Who was I hanging out with?
When you would hang out with me, who would you hang out with?
I mean, I was hanging out with you, Matt Elford, men that were twice my age.
Twice. That's what I'm saying.
Like I've always been drawn to the older crowd, and I have a lot of older friends, and
Same.
I get along with older people. You know, even as a kid, I would be hanging out with my parents and their friends at the table playing cards and just listening in on their conversations.
Yeah, and so you got around these old men, and so I think, like, looking back, and I would say I did it to a certain extent. I would have done it differently, but the 25 to 30, you can really lay a foundation for your life that's hardcore. And a lot of people, and maybe you were the same way, 20 to 24, 25, you were wanting to party or some sort of, you know, sensationalistic events, and
it was definitely less focused. Yeah.
Pat, you started in the company super young, 12 years old.
Yep.
And you were working with everybody older than you.
I mean, there was at one point eventually I got to a point where I was in charge and everyone working under me almost was older, but I've always been the same way, like hanging out with, I had a few friends my own age in school or whatever, but everyone I was around, I mean, a lot of because of the business was people who were older than me, sometimes significantly older, 10, 20 years.
Yeah, and I always because we let you drop out when you were in 10th grade, and then you homeschooled. Now you're a chief operating officer. So here's someone that doesn't need college that can be successful.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, but I think it benefits because when you hang around with old people, you can learn. Or older people, you can learn things that they've already
because
learned.
They're further down the way, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I know there was always, I know you played hockey and stuff, but once you turned 16, you were done with sports and you worked. But there was always this concern from other people. Oh, you should hang out with people his age. You should do this. And you know what I would say? I would say, fuck that.
Yeah.
I was like, my kid, he needs to hang out with older guys. And it was guys I knew. You know, and then the younger guys you hung out with might have been Mitch or other guys that were in our company that were good guys.
Yeah.
You know, or gals. So this episode and this podcast, we started it for it to be a training system for the 150 employees that we have in our companies, because it's getting really hard to communicate to everybody. So we hope that this can be of value to our teammates that work with us and value beyond. I want to bring up a really tough subject, and it's something that I've personally dealt with, and that is coping with anxiety and depression as an entrepreneur.
Ooh,
you know,
deep.
It is deep. It is deep. Here, let's play this video.
In Australia, there was a palliative care nurse who wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of Dying People. These were people that were dying before their time, like I used to look after, of cancer or chronic neurological illness. You know what the top regret of dying people was? That they didn't have the courage to be themselves. And the third top regret was that they didn't have the courage to express their emotions. They pretended to be happy when they were not, and so on. So the question for the rest of us is, do we want to wait till some terminal illness wakes us up? Or should we just confront the fact that in so many ways we're afraid to be authentic because we're so afraid of being rejected? And as children, we didn't have much choice. As adults, can we develop that freedom to be ourselves?
This subject kind of came out of nowhere. And it was actually during a moment where I was kind of in a down spot, and I was getting myself out of it, because I've dealt with depression and anxiety. I guess it runs in my family. But looking at this video, I know, analyzing my entire life, I watched this video like 5 times, and then I said, oh, we got to talk about this, is that was a core problem in my life. To be authentic, to speak and be who I was always trying to be someone else.
And that's interesting you say that, because I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people in this world are oftentimes playing a part, or playing who they think the world wants them to be, or who they want the world to portray them as, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's important to, I view depression as, if you break it down, it's deep rest, right? you are depressing your true character. And, I brought this up here on Google, but we can choose to view depression not as a mental illness, but as a state of deep rest, a spiritual exhaustion that we enter into when we are depressed, pressed down by the weight of the false self, the mask of the mind-made story of me.
That's interesting because I had a therapist tell me one time that the depression was something that I could never get rid of. So she called me a bipolar, manic depressant. So you're manic, you're real up, depressed, real down. And obviously, I think you guys have seen me when I'm up, right? Excited and overjoyed and talk too much. But she said I'd never get rid of it. I'd have to cage it, like depression. And so it's funny you say rest because I find when I'm down, I just take a nap now.
Do you think that's true, that you can't get rid of it?
I don't know, because I look at, like, sometimes knowing things can get you down, right? And I've chosen to learn, and I feel like it's I don't know, a talent or a gift. It's like I have this ambitious to learning, but some things I know really get me down. And so I think that, and I tell people that have depression or deal with different things, I was like, hey, you're really smart. Why don't you look at this as a gift of some sort? Maybe you're just down because of A, B, and C, but ultimately it's like, face it, right? You have to face it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, Pat, I mean, before we started filming, you said, yeah, I'm not really into this. And, I actually didn't think you would be.
Well, people that know me think that I don't have a lot of emotions because I don't express them. And so I think that video resonated with me. Like, I'm trying to do better about expressing my feelings, but I choose when to do that. I use discernment, to reference a different episode that we talked about, but I do try and express them because I think it's important to get them out instead of holding them in. But the reason I said that was because I think it can be helpful. This can be very helpful for people, and I think that we've all experienced this situation in one way or another, but I'm kind of tired of feeling this way or having people that are feeling this way, like when it like controls them, I guess. Like, I want to be optimistic, and I have found ways for me to deal with this or the stress of life, and so I just don't want to be down.
Yeah, and I would say that any type of depression I've dealt with over the years has kind of driven me. Because what do? A lot of people depressed, they kill themselves. They stay in their basement. They just live at their mom's. They don't do anything.
Yeah, don't do that.
Right? For me, it motivated me myself to keep moving.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Same.
And, I actually think the depression or bipolar, whatever I have, gift, has actually been a huge fuel to whatever success you would say I have, because I don't vision myself as successful yet. I think that we've succeeded at some things, but till we're making $1 million a month each.
Yeah, that'll be sweet. I'm looking forward to that.
But what I found, it's not just about me dealing with depression or anxiety while I'm working. It's learning how to deal with other people that have anxiety or depression while they're working for you.
Yeah, and I think that I have a lot of sympathy or empathy, depending on the situation, for people who are going through this, because it is tough. Like, there was a time this was a few years ago, and Mitch, you kind of referenced the 20 to 24. Like, I would say 20 to 23, some by my own doing and some not, was not a particularly fun period in my life.
That was a girl.
Same.
Well, that was part of it, but that wasn't. I mean, that was part
also
of it.
A girl.
That's part of it, but not all of it. But so I kind of blacked out most of that time. Like I don't even really remember.
Yeah.
So I feel for people who are going through this, and a lot of people go through a lot of shit that you might not know about.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And so I just try to be encouraging as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's why I don't always say the bad things,
You know, when you're going in that time, when you're in that time of depression, or you have a lot of, overwhelming feelings or emotions when you're going through hard shit, I think it's hard to see the good in that.
It is
in
hard.
The lessons.
You can't see anything else.
not till later, hopefully.
But, looking back on it, there's so many lessons in those hard times, and you learn so many more lessons in the hard times than you do in the good times.
Well, that's where you grow.
Right? Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. That's where you're stretched. That's where you grow.
Yeah.
And, if you're going through something hard right now, I think it's important to slow down and really analyze why things are going wrong and what you don't like in the situation, because what you don't like in that situation is probably the thing that is pulling you down and that is keeping you from becoming the best version of yourself, right?
Yeah.
So if you just try to eliminate those things out of your life and focus on the good, you are going to grow exponentially.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like, if I look at the context of this therapy that I took when I was like 21 years old, you were a baby. you were 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is my therapist tried to hook me up with someone.
That's weird.
At that time?
Yeah.
When you just had a baby?
Yeah, I was a single dad, but that was stupid. What's wrong with her? Christian therapist or something. But I did get a lot of value, and when she talked about caging, I think a lot of it is like take control of your thoughts, right? Like take control of your thoughts, and not ruminating
Absolutely.
on them,
Yep.
right? Check this video out.
I never considered that thinking about your problems all the time and talking about your problems all the time literally make the problems grow.
That's right. I mean, it's the number one symptom of depression is what they call rumination, this pathological obsessing over your pain.
Yeah.
That's why stuff like exercise, that's one of the reasons, aside from chemical reasons, one of the reasons that doing anything, that running errands is good for your mental health, getting out of your house and accomplishing anything is good for you. But sitting around talking and thinking about your problems, that's a bad habit. And the best cognitive behavioral therapists and others, the dialectical behavioral therapists, the ones who do really well with depression, the first thing they do is try to break that bad pattern. But a lot of therapists just indulge it.
I agree.
Absolutely.
100%. I mean, when you dwell, it definitely makes things worse.
Yeah.
And, it's like when I was depressed, I was my most depressed. It was summertime. That's typically like, I love summer,
when you're up,
right?
When you're up.
Like
right?
Sunshine, everything's great, blah, blah, blah. And what was I doing during that time? Well, I just went through this like hard breakup. My whole life was changing. I just bought a house with my brother in Grass Lake. So we had to move all of our stuff from my old apartment where my ex and I lived to my house. Yeah. There was this laundry list of stuff I had to do. Yeah. And I was thinking,
and you're busting your balls in our company as we were trying to figure out your position.
Right. And
you were like one of those added positions.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I remember one day I was at home. It was my day off. I was like, oh, I'm feeling a bit down. And I decided, I was like, oh, I know what will help me. Like, I'm going to take some mushrooms and I'm going to smoke some weed and I'm going to go on a hike. Right.
That worked, didn't it?
And I was like, it's a beautiful day. This will be great. And I remember it kicked in. And I walk outside, and my grass at the time, because we just moved in, was like 3 feet tall. So that was overwhelming to me because I was like, oh my gosh, we have so much to do, and the grass was. I'm like, this grass signifies all the stuff that I have to do. It's just like so long. The list is so long and so tall, and I just remember I had to go inside, and I just curled up in a ball, and I just started crying for hours. Wow. And I was like that was like probably like rock bottom for me at that time. Like I'm curled up in bed, bawling my eyes out, and I just do not know what to do. Yeah. And it's like,
go grocery shopping.
Right, something. Do something that's productive, and don't think, "Oh, I'm just going to mask it with drugs and alcohol and drugs are the way out of this thing." It's like, "No, man. Just stay sober." Really you have to attack these feelings and emotions head on. You can't push them to the side, or else they'll exponentially grow.
Yeah, or if it's something that I had a therapist tell me one time that feelings aren't always facts, and thoughts are not threats. You know what I mean? And he would explain it like this train that would stop right in front of you, and you would just stare at this thought, and then this thought there would become an ecosystem to the subject, and and your eyes get big, and you get anxiety, you can't breathe, or you get sad, and it's like you gotta push that fucking train. You're
just thought looping.
You have to just move it on, and it's like to focus. And on bad, what does that get you? It gets you bad.
Yeah, it exponentially grows bad things and bad thoughts. Where if you focus on good, on the other hand, it can exponentially grow good things and good thoughts.
Yeah.
So get up, go grocery shopping, get little things done.
Take a walk.
Take a walk. Make your bed. Breathe fresh air. Go work out. Like good. Not cheap dopamine, like do not seek cheap dopamine. Don't sit on your phone and waste your time on reels all day. It's important to just get real things done, tangible things done in your life.
Yeah, and just focus on the moment, right? Like mindful practices.
Yeah.
Like whether it's like, I don't know, what's a good mindful practice?
I mean, I think the stuff that Mitch mentioned, the walking, cooking dinner, cooking a good meal instead of eating something bad,
Yeah. Don't go get fast food just because it's easy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes it's good to talk to someone and being honest how you feel, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then I would say like a huge thing is like usually a problem is like, you're focusing on something and it takes your focus off the things that are good in your life.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like being grateful. That's why this podcast is sponsored by the Grateful Crow, your fusion burger and sushi bar in Chelsea, Michigan. That's why I made our motto be grateful. Honestly, because I know as I was dealing with anger, depression, self-worth bullshit, someone told me, just be grateful for what you have. And so on the back of all our shirts, it says be grateful. And anybody that comes in that restaurant, they're going to see it somewhere.
I love it.
And it's like, be grateful for what you have. You might have long grass and your lawnmower is broken, but you have you have a great truck.
Yeah.
I like that truck. I couldn't get up. I wanted your truck so bad the other day. I couldn't get up the hill to my house.
Oh, man.
Going backwards. This is our leadership version of our podcast, but I think it'd be important. Pat, why don't you read this ancient writing from the Bible?
So this is 2,000-ish years old. In the book of Philippians, this is NIV version, so the most, I would say, modern to understand. And so do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, and this is the big part, with thanksgiving, being thankful, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ. And I think that shine light, we'd go deeper into that second part, but the main thing is the first part, don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation with Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's other verses that say, today has enough worries for itself.
Yeah, I
so
like
don't
that
be
one.
worried about tomorrow. But and don't be worried about something that hasn't happened yet.
Absolutely.
And it's so important, and it does take effort. You do have to get off your ass.
Yeah.
You have to move. If you stay still, you're fucked. I'm telling you.
And it takes a lot more effort when you are in those states because you're so weighed down by all of those negative thoughts and negative emotions, right?
Yeah.
But I also wanted to just touch on anxiety real quick.
Yeah. Because
And
depression and anxiety are different.
they are.
But sometimes they're like you have them both at the same time.
Yes.
Right?
And, I kind of connected it with wisdom and awareness. And, I just wrote down, if you seek wisdom and gain awareness, your anxiety will be squashed.
Is that... Do you make that up yourself?
Yeah.
Say it again.
If you seek wisdom and gain awareness, your anxiety will be squashed.
Yeah. Because wisdom is action.
Absolutely.
So if you seek action, your anxiety can be
Squashed.
stumped. And, get someone
true.
else in it with you. Someone that you trust, someone that loves you.
Absolutely.
Someone you can talk to. Sometimes someone that can talk some reasoning into you.
And I think that's important because a lot of people, when they're feeling these negative emotions, they'll just spout off about it to everybody and anybody, or anybody and everybody, whatever. Yeah. And it's important to not just trust that everybody will have the discernment to keep it to themselves, because that a lot of people like spreading rumors, and it's like the game of telephone, and then
my God.
all of a sudden people are talking about you behind your back because you just spouted off to somebody who is untrustworthy and lacks discernment.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. When someone throws stones at you, like, you got to think who gave them the stones.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we give people the ammunition. You have to be careful what you say. Holy shit.
That's one of the reasons why I don't talk so much, because I don't want people to know about me.
Yeah, I mean, last night, we had these awesome meetings yesterday, and last night, Alex lives by me, so I went by his house, and I said, bro, I don't think I can talk to anybody. I think I can only talk to you guys because of some circumstances, and I was like, and it's what's been going on with me is like, be slow to speak.
Yep.
Because I yap out at the mouth. Well, we got two things that can help you here. One, be yourself. Be authentic. You know what? Even if you fall on your face or say something stupid, I think you're better off talking and being yourself and doing something, making a mistake, let's call it, than nothing at all.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, be yourself. Two, don't dwell on your problems.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Don't dwell on your problems. And number three, Pat, give us an update. I think this helps with your... Anybody that's depressed, I recommend doing what Pat's doing.
Oh, this cured me, honestly.
Yeah, so
I mean,
75 hard.
Here's me every time.
75 hard, yeah. This
Yeah.
was like, a couple years ago. The first time I did it, it cured me. But, I mean, I'm working out twice a day, drinking a gallon of water, not eating junk, reading. What else?
Reading right now?
Progress pictures.
Progress pictures. The story of Walmart, Sam Walton.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about that. Well, listen, what you put in your head, in your eyes, and in your ears goes into your heart, into your brain, out your mouth. So I think it's what you're reading and what you're watching on TV. Anybody that's dealing with depression, and they come to me, one of the first questions I ask is, are you watching horror flicks? What kind of music are you listening to?
Yeah.
So there's number three. What do you put in to your brain? Okay. Number four would be exercise, I guess.
Yeah. Even go for a walk or lift some weights, whatever it is your thing.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything crazy.
Yeah, it matters, but you have to take action. So what do we got? Let's break them down again. Be yourself. Be authentic. 2, don't dwell on your problems. 4, 3, exercise.
That was 4.
Oh, that was 4. 3 is, watch what you put in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
You got what you put in your brain. 4, exercise. And 5, I'm going to bring to you from President-elect Donald Trump.
You know the best way to stop depression? Work your ass off.
Yeah.
You don't have time. You want to work so hard that you don't have time for depression.
Yeah. Work your fucking ass off. Put some purpose to your life, even if you're a fry guy at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know people personally in our company and not in our company that deal with mental health challenges. And you know what they do? They fucking work their ass off.
Yep.
They work their ass off. Why? Because it's a safe place for them. Why? Because they're being productive. They're adding something of value to their life, and they're keeping busy.
And not only work your ass off, but take pride in everything that you do. Everything.
That's
even
so
the little
important.
things, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's just cucumbers." Like that doesn't matter. No, cut those cucumbers to the best of your ability. The best you could possibly cut that cucumber. Cut that cucumber and make it look awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like the little things matter. They truly do. So
take pride in yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and work your ass off and move and be around people, and there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Take action.
Take action. Well, hey, if you are dealing with depression or anxiety, please talk to someone. Talk to us.
Yeah.
If you know.
Shout in the comments.
Go get a therapist. I'm in therapy. I have one tomorrow night. I love it. Most of the time, I don't. There's a lot of things I don't like about it.
If you need a workout routine, reach out to me. I'll hook you up.
Yeah,
I have to hook Pat up right now. Actually.
Yeah. So, with all that said, from Warriors Mindset, the Warriors Management Crew, we wish you farewell or till next time.
Have a great week.
Go kill the week.
Crush it, guys.